If you're looking for some cool new British pop, I've got a great band for you right here on this episode of CD Junkie.
New from K-Tel Records, 22 explosive hits.
Hey everybody, it's me, Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie. On this episode of CD Junkie, I'm going to be talking about a band by the name of Emperor Penguin. That's right, Emperor Penguin. Now, I've only been into this band for a few years now, especially with the release of their third album. But they've actually got a handful of albums here. I'm going to tell you about them. They were originally together in the 90s. They finally got together and recorded their debut album that they planned to release in the year 2000. Well, that never happened. The album never came out. But the album was called Crumhorn, and it's part of this two albums on one disc. Now, the band is Neil Christie on vocals and guitar, Nigel Winfield on vocals and guitar. You also got Richard Wilson on drums, and you've got JT on bass and vocals. Now, the first album, Crumhorn, the one I told you about from 2000, that actually had Adrian Long on bass. But the band broke up for several years. I mean, I guess several, you would probably say about 15 or 16 years. But they got back together, and then they recorded their second album, which is also featured here, and that's called Rum Pop Engineer. Great hooks, great melodies, British pop. Now, Crumhorn itself is a very creative album filled with great songs, but their first reunion album back together, the Rum Pop Engineer, like I said, also featured on this disc. There's a lot more maturity. The first album sounds like they were sort of taking in the influences that were surrounding them, whereas Rum Pop Engineer sounds like they are actually forging their own sound. Still, lots of great songs. You're hearing different influences on that album, so it goes deeper into, let's say, a little bit of psychedelia. There's Britpop in there. There's Beatles influences, but they're not actually really sounding like anybody. So it's not like I can say, oh yeah, it's definitely XTC, definitely Beatles, that's definitely this. No, it's just all combining to create a very cool, unique sound. Great introduction to the band. I'd never heard them before this disc, and this came out in 2017. Now, I can tell you can get most, if not all, of these CDs from Kool Kat Musik. You can also get them from their Bandcamp. I'll put links in the description box below, but definitely check that out. Now, in 2019, they released their third album. I'm not good at pronunciation, but I'm going to say Walnut Fascia. I don't know, guys. Come on. Come up with a title that I can pronounce. I'm not very smart. This is yet another great collection of songs. They evolve. The sound becomes a little beefier, a little more psychedelic influences in there. But it's all over the map. The hooks are great. On first listen, you're going, yeah, that's a cool song. That's a cool song. By third or fourth listen, you've got a whole new set of favorite songs. By the seventh listen, you've got a different set of favorite songs. And it's really absolutely fantastic. That is Emperor Penguin. Came out in 2019. That's Walnut Fascia or Fascia. Come on, guys. Well, in 2020, they made it a little bit easier for me with Soak Up the Gravy, which is very easy to pronounce. Another great collection of songs. Again, they start moving forward. The sound gets beefier. I think by this time, they were really, really comfortable doing what they do on their own. They're getting more comfortable in the studio, and the songs are getting bigger. They're starting to grow, and you're hearing more layers in the music, and you're hearing just these great hooks. Sometimes it'll just be this little psych guitar hook, or sometimes it'll be a vocal hook, a chorus, whatever. But it's really absolutely fantastic. Soak Up the Gravy, Emperor Penguin. Now, I had missed this the first time around because this whole COVID thing threw me for a loop. I stopped listening to a lot of new music. I didn't want to associate it with this horrible time of year, politics and death and COVID and all this crazy stuff. So it was great to actually get back into the music and soak up the music that I'd missed. And Emperor Penguin was one of the first bands I went to and said, I need to finish my collection. And it was so great to listen to this. Now, in 2020, they also released a series of digital-only EPs, which, if anybody knows me, I sob when a band releases a new thing and it's digital only. But then I wipe up the tears when they put out a CD called Corporation Pop that features all their digital only stuff. And this album actually includes collaborations with Orbis Max. It includes collaborations with Lisa Michaels, Nick Frater, a lot of great artists. And this, again, it shows them advancing. It shows them even being more confident. Now, it may be because they're just buying better equipment, and technology is making it easier for them to get their ideas across. But as good as Corporation Pop is, which came out in 2021, by the way, I think that Sunday Carvery is their most fully realized best album. Now, this is a 2022 release, and chock full, like I said, they sound more confident and just better produced. It's a tougher sound, more layers, and all the great things that you loved about Emperor Penguin albums before. The 60s influence, the psych influences, the Britpop influences, all that stuff is here and accounted for, and just a great bunch of songs. Now, I have to admit that some of these songs might take 2 or 3 listens to get into because there's so much going on. I mean, this album is so good that halfway through, you start thinking, well, they've got to run out of hooks, but they don't. And see, the great thing about all these too is it's not just all this boom, boom, powerful pop. Sometimes they're going to throw at you a little samba or, a slower song, a little mellower song, acoustic, but just a lot of great music. So with all that being said, right now I'm going to play you a medley featuring some of the songs from these albums, and hopefully it gets you excited and you're going to want to check out more by Emperor Penguin. So dig this medley, and I will see you on the other side.
It was nothing special anyway.
Well, that's it. I hope this inspires you to go out and check out Emperor Penguin. I really appreciate you hanging around and listening to me, listening to this medley. And remember to like, comment, share, subscribe, ring that bell for future notifications. And until the next time, remember me. I'm Steve Schnee, the CD Junkie.